The origin of the Smith family in Lower Alloways Creek Township was when Andreas Christian Theodore Schmidt arrived in Philadelphia on June 16, 1854, from Germany. It was common in those days for people needing help on farms to seek out able-bodied immigrants for work. A man from Harmersville hired Theodore and brought him to LAC. Theodore eventually bought 15 acres in the Buckthorn Woods, on which he built a log cabin. He and Anna Mary had met in the German community of Philadelphia, where they became very good friends with Dr. Herman Fritsch, another immigrant. In 1856, Anna Mary moved to LAC, and she and Theodore were married in November of that year. Because Theodore and Anna Mary had 7 children, their homestead in the Buckthorn Woods became known as Tiny Town. In addition, the area between the Canton Drain Bridge and Cumberland County Causeway temporarily acquired the nickname Germantown as the Schmidt children grew up. When Theodore and Anna Mary's 6th child was born on September 14, 1870, they named him Herman Fritsch Schmidt, after their good friend, Dr. Herman Fritsch. Harriet Miller Davis, the daughter of William Henry and Elizabeth Davis, was born on April 12, 1873. On October 19, 1883, Theodore Schmidt was granted citizenship, and E was added to his preferred first name, while his surname was anglicized to Smith. On April 21, 1887, Anna Mary Smith died at the age of 53. Theodore, himself having just turned 53, continued working with his sons on the family farm while also actively involved in other endeavors. Over the preceding years, he and Dr. Fritsch had formed a partnership set up to buy and sell selected pieces of property in Lower Alloways Creek. In the latter part of the 19th century, muskrat trapping was beginning to become a major industry in the township. Theodore was also a partner in the Eagle Island Company, a fur and trapping consortium owned and run by several local men. They trapped muskrats and bought and sold the fur and meat. Theodore's son Herman, although just 17 years old in 1887, was hired as a shopkeeper in Canton, where he began learning how to buy and sell muskrat meat and fur. Also, Herman was beginning to court Harriet Miller Davis. At this time, he was already planning to build his own store and home somewhere in the township. Herman Smith and Hattie Miller Davis were married on April 12, 1890, her 17th birthday. On January 11, 1891, Frank Harris Smith, the only child that Herman and Hattie shared, was born. He would go by the name Harris. 3 months later, on April 14, 1891, Martha Ritchie, daughter of Joseph and Emma Ritchie of Stoke Creek Township, was born. Hattie Davis Smith died on January 19, 1895. Herman was in no position to raise a 4-year-old son alone. He worked long hours as a shopkeeper and was well along in plans to build his own store. Consequently, he asked his sister Mary to take Harris for an indefinite period of time. By March 9, 1895, Herman Smith had selected the lot in Germantown on which he wanted to build his store and home. It was an investment property owned by his father Theodore and partner Dr. Fritsch. Theodore wrote to his friend and partner in Philadelphia, encouraging him to agree to sell the choice property in Canton. Dr. Fritsch agreed. Hattie's father, William Henry Davis, in addition to being a master boat builder, was also a carpenter. He helped his former son-in-law Herman build the new store during 1895 to 1896. By 1896, Herman had become constable in Lower Alloways Creek. In September of that year, 20 months after Hattie's death, it was reported by the Salem newspaper that Herman had married 26-year-old Della Hancock. By then, his new store with attached house was finished. Herman and Della ultimately would have 2 children of their own. Harris remained with his Aunt Mary, Aunt Lizzie, Uncle Joe, and grandfather in Tinytown. Harris Smith attended grade school at the Friendship School near Canton in the Buckthorn Woods. This school was also known as the Hell Neck School. A quick glance at the annual school souvenir shows many familiar township names. By the turn of the century, Theodore, his 2 daughters, and youngest son, along with Herman's son Harris, moved from Tinytown to a house diagonally across the dirt road from Herman's store. Herman continued buying muskrat fur and meat from the Eagle Island Company as well as from independent trappers. His son, 12-year-old Harris, had begun helping his father in various ways, learning the fur business and other aspects of running a general store. 12-year-old Maddie Ritchie visited the store frequently with her parents as they shopped. In 1909, when Harris Smith turned 18, he was courting Maddie Ritchie, and on March 30th, 1910, they married and moved to Greenwich. Harris and Maddie had 3 children, a daughter named Ethel, who was born in 1911, and a son named Herman Joseph, born in 1914. Their 3rd child, who was born on March 9th, 1917, was named Harriet Evelyn. The Smith family at this time lived in this house on Ye Great Street in Greenwich.
My name is actually Harriet Evelyn Smith. That's the name I was given at birth, but I've always been known as Evelyn. That's the way I've signed all my checks, and that's what everybody knows me by, my family and my friends. I don't actually remember living in this house because I was only 19 months old when my mother died. She died from tuberculosis and left these 3 small children, which left my father in a quandary. So he had to call on Aunt Mary one more time to try to help him. And she helped him by taking my sister Ethel and my brother Herman, gave them a home, and I made my home on my grandfather Smith and Granny at the sewer property.